Embark on your civil services journey with Vision IS. Introducing the Delhi GS Foundation Course 2026, turning UPSC dreams into reality. Access interactive learning tools, animations, videos, and an immersive interface. Utilize our tech-enabled student portal for performance tracking and personalized feedback. Stay ahead with daily assignments, weekly mini tests, and monthly revisions. Strengthen your preparation with expert-researched, UPSC pattern study material. Delhi General Studies Foundation Course 2026. Batches start 29th November, 5 p.m., Karol Bagh. 19th November, 9 a.m., Karol Bagh. Take the first step towards success. With Vision IS, success is just a step away.
Then economic impact of the rule of East India Company. So UPSC has asked why there was a certain spurt in famines in colonial India since mid-18th century. Examine critically the different facets or aspects of economic policies of British India from middle of 18th century till independence. ऐसा मतलब middle of बड़ा अच्छा question है 2014 वाला. Usually students they study drain theory given by the moderates, and drain theory given by the moderates was primarily focused on 1850 onwards. That is, once Britishers they did their industrialization. After that, what happened to Indian economy? But here they are asking middle 18th century. अब वो इंग्लिश लैंग्वेज ऐसी है कि एग्जाम के प्रेशर में वो मिड 18th में -1 करना भूल जाएंगे. लैंग्वेज ही ऐसी है ना, 18th से 180 याद आता है और वो एग्जाम के प्रेशर में पता चला आधा आंसर पूरा हो गया है और तब रियलाइज हुआ अरे 18th में मतलब 1750s. मिड 18th सेंचुरी माने 1750s, राइट. और यूजली स्टूडेंट क्या पढ़ता है? ड्रेन थ्योरी बाय मॉडरेट्स which is focused on 1850 onwards because in 1850 industrial revolution of Britain completed, right. So therefore हो सकता है कि आप सिर्फ और सिर्फ ड्रेन थ्योरी के बारे में लिखे जा रहे हो इसमें, और 100 साल तो आपने छोड़ ही दिए. प्लासी प्लंडर आपने छोड़ ही दिया 1757-65. ट्रीटी वाला बात 1765 छोड़ दी आपने जिसमें दीवानी मिली ऑफ बंगाल. हाँ, सबऑर्डिनेट अलायंस में जो पैसा लूट रहे हैं और उसको मिलिट्री के लिए इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं वो तो आपने छोड़ ही दिया है ना. तो ये सब एलिमेंट्स, तो उसमें आपको ये सब एलिमेंट्स ऐड करने होंगे, ठीक है. तो खैर इसमें दो एलिमेंट्स आते हैं. फर्स्ट आ जाता है कि रूलिंग की आइडियोलॉजी क्या है इनकी. एक ये भी क्वेश्चन बनता है कि ब्रिटिश इंपीरियल आइडियोलॉजीज हैड सिग्निफिकेंट इम्पैक्ट ऑन ब्रिटिश पॉलिसीज इन इंडिया. तो इनकी आइडियोलॉजी बहुत सिंपल है. वाइट मैन्स बर्डन, रूल इंडिया दी इंडिया वे. नहीं सॉरी, वाइट मैन्स बर्डन का मतलब कि रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है अंग्रेजों के ऊपर टू सिविलाइज द रेस्ट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड, right. So they used to have this narrative that imperialism is actually good for colonies. So this is one ideology. Matlab they are thinking that they are very good people. Second is Orientalism. Orientalism was there from 1765 to 1813. The meaning of the word Oriental is something related to East. So Orientalism meant rule India the India way. Rule India the India way. काहे भाई इतना superiority complex है तुमको that you want to civilize the rest of the world. Why do you want to rule India the India way? Why do you want to have Indian administration the India way? Why do you want to follow Hindu law, Islamic law in the judiciary? Why do you want to follow, laws of civil and criminal matters the India way? Right? Why? क्यों भाई क्यों? Why? First reason is, first of all, when they studied the ancient Indian scriptures, etc., when they studied the Indian literature, at that point of time, the key criteria to decide whether a civilization is good, bad, ugly, or awesome was language and literature. So they identified that Indian literature is awesome because in literature you tell about your society. कोई भी उपन्यास होता है तो उससे पढ़ के पता चलता है कि what is that society, right? So they realized that the Indian literature is at par or even better than European ancient literature. So they said कि भाई India is not barbaric, इनको हम क्या civilize करें? Their history is already very great. So we should rule India the India way because ancient India is great. That was one intellectual reason. Second, they thought that if we start ruling India the British way, then what will be the reaction of the people of India? Right? If we start saying that in the courts, Hindu law and Islamic law will not decide public life and private life. West-like laws will decide. So therefore, what if जनता भड़क जाए? हाँ? So are we militarily confident enough in 1757 that we can, devote energy and money on, fighting or suppressing a revolt? Right? So therefore, उनको डर था शुरुआत में. They were not very, very strong. So militarily, they were not that confident against the people also. That's why. Orientalism. Example proof क्या है इसका? From 1765 to 1772, it is a period called dual government, right? So despite the company getting Diwani in 1765, these people, they did not station themselves as finance minister. They appointed MD Reza Khan, Mohammad Reza Khan, कि भाई ये काम कर इधर, तू जो कर रहा था ना वही करता रहा, बस पैसा लाके हमको दे दियो. You are our Diwan. You handle the actual budget making, actual tax collection, right? Officers will also not be British. Indian bureaucracy headed by Mohammad Reza Khan. You do whatever you are doing. हमको तो यहाँ पैसे से मतलब है, तू बस पैसा हमको दे दियो. You just give us money, right? So therefore we don't want to rule Diwani also the British way. Administration will also be Indian and method of tax collection, everything will be Indian, right? Just that earlier you used to give this money to Nawab, now you give this money to us. That's it, right? So rule India the India way. They did not change the land revenue model. We do not study about permanent settlement or Rayatwari settlement or Mehelwari settlement or farming system before 1772, right? So therefore this is proof. Farming system 1772. Fine, they are building fine. So 1772 is before 1813. So even when they ruled India, even when they began ruling India, they said fine, there will be a district collector who will be Firangi. There will be a district judge who will be Firangi. But the method of tax collection of collector and the laws which are being implemented by the judge, they will be Indian. So from 1765 to 1772, thought is, Indians, you rule India the India way. I am only supervisor. From 1772, we will rule India, but we will rule it the India way. So पहली बार हम लोगों ने फिरंगी डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर कब देखा? 1772 में. In 1772, for the first time, we see a Firangi judge, we see a Firangi DC, right? But they are also ruling us the India way, so that we the common man feel that okay, nothing has changed. ठीक है, पहले यहाँ कोई मनसबदार बैठता था, अब यहाँ ये अजीब सा गोरा बैठा हुआ है, इतनी गर्मी में पता नहीं बड़ा सा विग लगा के, है ना, जज विग लगा के बैठते थे, ठीक है ना, ठीक है. बट हिंदू लॉ इज देयर, इस्लामिक लॉ इज देयर, नो प्रॉब्लम. हमारी लाइफ में कोई ज़्यादा खास चेंज नहीं है, ठीक है ना, नथिंग हैज चेंज. प्रूफ, farming system, the first land revenue system that the Britishers they implemented in India, it was nothing but ijardari system. Ijardari system of the Mughals, whereby right to collect land revenue was auctioned to the highest bidder. So therefore, Ijardars or revenue farmers, they will be collecting land revenue under the supervision of district collector, right? So therefore, farming system is nothing but India way. Similarly, in Mehlwari, when they implemented Mehlwari in 1822, right? So even after 1813, there can be a person who says, I will rule India the India way. So in Mehlwari, one of the reason why settlement was done with Mahel was to respect the village autonomy, right? We'll come to that. अगर अभी आपको नहीं बता दो. 1786 and 93, Cornwallis was authoritarian. Authoritarian person is my way or highway. So he said that in the case of land revenue, I am not going to care what is the India way. I am going to bring a Permanent Settlement Act of 1793, which will bring British way or English way in the Indian agriculture sector. So in the English agriculture sector, there used to be super big landlords. So therefore, he converted the Indian zamindar into a big landlord. Right? Why? Because I believe in English landlordism and my way or highway. So Permanent Settlement Act 1793 was inspired by English way or England way of doing agriculture. In 1813, roughly 63% of their industrial revolution is done. So now they have confidence that if they will rule India the British way, and if the people of India, they revolt, then also they can handle. By 1813, their military is also very, very powerful. By 1813, they have signed subordinate alliance with so many Indian states. So their military is very, very powerful. By 1813, only 3 people are pending. Sikh, which are taken care of in 1845 and 49. Bhosle and Holkar, which are taken care of in 1817-19 Third Anglo-Maratha War. Otherwise, everyone has either been subordinated or annexed. So therefore, now they are militarily very, very powerful. And they now, मैंने बोला ना, give power to someone to test that man's character. आदमी औकात के हिसाब से मुंह खोलता है. जब तक वो औकात कुछ नहीं होती, तब तक हैंजी, और जैसी औकात होती है वैसे असली रंग दिखाता है. So now they said, ancient Indian greatness is a myth. Ancient Indian greatness is a myth. कोई great weight नहीं हो तुम. You're not great. You're thinking wrong all this while. Right? Yes, there still will be some people who are Orientalist. But majority of the people, they behave like this. That ancient India was not great. And therefore, how to fulfill white man's burden then? Rule India the British way. Right? And therefore, now 3 ideologies emerged. One ideology said, how to fulfill white man's burden? एक है कुछ नहीं है, सब ऊपर वाले का दिया हुआ है. Christianize India and everything will be fine. Christianize India to modernize India. Religion is source of values, and if we will provide right values to the Indians, then India will also become Britain. Society's DNA will change when its religion will change. Religion is a source of values. Ethics में ही पढ़ते हो आप, right? So Christianize India to modernize India. Utilitarianism. They said, they are very practical people. They say that there is only one way to implement things: law. Bring good laws and establish a strong state which will ensure rule of law. Only then things will happen. ये सिर्फ बातों से कुछ नहीं होने वाला, कानून लेके आओ. Right? So most of the British system you see, it is based on law. कुछ भी चीजें करते हैं, they do with the help of law. Right? So therefore utilitarianism. Third was liberalism. ये लोग बाहर से बड़े अच्छे दिखते हैं, बट इनके धोखे मत आना. ये ऐसे जेलर हैं जो सवेरे ब्रेकफास्ट में पूछ लेते हैं, अच्छा क्या खाओगे, बट आप जेल में ही हो. कह आज अंडा मिल जाएगा, कह रहे हाँ चाट मसाला भी डालूंगा, सनी साइड अप. ठीक है ना? तो ऐसा, ठीक है ना? सो इन लोगों के झांसे बताना. लिबरलिज्म, लिबरल हैं बट एंटी नेशनल दे आर नॉट. अगर तुम लिबरल हो तो तुम एंटी इंडिया थोड़ी हो गए. तो वो अंग्रेज हैं, दे मे बी लिबरल, बट दैट डज नॉट मीन दैट दे आर एंटी ब्रिटिश, दैट दे विल सैक्रिफाइस देयर नेशनल इंटरेस्ट जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ बीइंग गुड पर्सन. ठीक है? सो देयरफॉर दीज पीपल दे से, वेल दे लाइक, यार हमारे पास जो भी अच्छा है ना, वट एवर गुड वी हैव, लेट अस गिव इट टू इंडियंस. गिव बेस्ट आइडियाज ऑफ आवर टाइम्स टू इंडियंस. देन यू आस्क देम, okay sir, what is best? Correct, best is best. East or West? Best is West. So therefore, what kind of education? Obviously, British syllabus. Which language? Obviously, English. Which religion? Of course, man. We are not forcing you because we are liberals. But come on, Christianity is Christianity. Now, what is best? West is best. Right? So, that is the thought. खैर हमने इनका बहुत भूत बनाया in 1857 revolt. We killed so many of them that now they are like, you are beyond redemption. तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं हो सकता. You're beyond reform. जैसे कभी कभी हमारे पेरेंट्स परेशान हो जाते थे बचपन में हमसे, ठीक है, you're a gone case scenario. है ना, टीचर बोल देती है कि तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं हो सकता, बहुत कोशिश करी तुम्हारा कुछ नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, why? Because they are thinking that they are giving best ideas of the age to us and all, they are fulfilling white man's burden, and we killed so many of them, right? So now they said that you are beyond reform and therefore you need to be under my foot. I need to control you with force only, right? And now they say dogs and Indians are not allowed, right? High amount of authoritarianism and very high amount of racism, right? And otherwise also, in this time period of 1857 onwards, racial sciences were developing in West. That means there were scientists who were doing such psychological experiments or such, studies, whereby their thesis was that DNA determines everything. The epitome result of that was Hitler. Hitler is becoming chancellor in 1933. Racial sciences are being done in 1800s. Right, so Hitler was a very strong proponent of racial sciences. That is, it is, if you are born a Aryan race, only then you will do good in life. Otherwise, you are a fraud. That's why he persecuted Jews, because Jews were not Aryans. Right. So there is this thought. It's not just psychological thing. They are also trying to have this idea. That's why they had this concept of martial race. That in the Indian army will have only martial race people. Right, because race उनके दिमाग में बड़ा strong है. So these are the ideologies. Why we studied these ideologies? Because only then we will be able to understand that why Thomas Munro implemented Rotwari in Madras, and why Bhuttewala means Cornwallis, why he implemented permanent settlement. Because one was having one ideology, another person was having another ideology, and that played a role in their decision making. Right. So because the topic is economic impact of the British rule. Right, so therefore common man does not want to be MP, MLA, minister. Common man wants economic security, physical security and socio-cultural security. Economic security, right? I am a common man. Indian economy is rural economy. So most probably, who am I? I am a ryot. I am a peasant, right? I cultivate 100 kg of wheat or rice. My economic security is hurt when someone comes and tells me, give me lagan, give me land revenue, give me LR. Right, so therefore it is the money which is taken out from my pocket, which if it is over extraction, then my economic security will come under threat. And who am I? I am masses. I am Indians. Right, so therefore if there is over extraction of land revenue, right, then masses of India, that is Indians, are having a negative economic impact on their life. So therefore, if we are dealing with the question, what was the economic impact of the British rule on India, then we have to discuss the economic impact on the masses of the land revenue systems. Right? Because what do you mean by India? India means Indians. Right? So इस वजह से land revenue system पढ़ना जरूरी हो जाता है. Taxation is a part of economics. Okay? So land revenue models में, when there was dual government in Bengal from 1765 to 1772, they did not bring any land revenue model. They simply told Muhammad Reza Khan, who was like the Diwan of East India Company, that मुझे बस ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा पैसा चाहिए. So therefore, it was simply a Mughal-like land revenue system will be there, just that over extraction of land revenue will be there by the Indian bureaucracy, and that money will be given to the British. Okay. But what was the result of this? The result of this was Great Bengal Famine of 1770, because such huge amount of land revenue extraction was there that now when bad harvest happened, so people, they did not have any savings. Bad harvest or droughts, they were taking place earlier also, but in the previous time, either people had enough savings with them, right, that they can import fruit from outside and therefore prices will be high, but fine, they can afford, or the Indian ruler at least used to take care of the people, in the sense that people don't die because of hunger. Right? East India Company does not care for the people. East India Company has the money. It does not want to do anything for the people. And people have been looted from 1757 onwards. So people also do not have any savings. Now, therefore, for continuously 2 or 3 years, when droughts happened, right, that is, good rains did not take place. So therefore, this time it resulted in a famine. Famine जो होता है, it is human factor plus geographical factor. If the human factor is good and geographical factor is bad, famine may not take place. For example, today human factor in India is good. We have a lot of buffer stocks, right? We have huge amount of wheat and rice stored. If continuously for 2 years bad monsoons take place, agricultural economy will get hurt. But government of India has enough food to feed its people. Plus government of India is rich enough to import food from outside. So because of good human factor, despite a bad geographical event, famine will not take place. People will not die because of hunger. Famine is people dying because of hunger. Right? Second scenario can be there, that geographical factor is good, but the human factor is bad, and therefore famine took place. In 1943, production was good, but all the food from Bengal was exported to Europe to meet the needs of Europeans and the army. As a result, 50 lakh Indians died in Bengal famine of 1943. Right? So therefore, at time, that's why it is called as man-made famine. So that's the meaning of the word famine. I had to clarify the geographical factor and I had to clarify the human factor. Okay. So human factor is in the hands of who? Either the people or the government. Bad harvest takes place. People are already in extreme poverty because huge amount of loot is taking place from 1757 onwards. Government, real power is in the hand of East India Company. They don't care for Indian lives. As a result, 1 crore Indians died in Great Bengal famine of 1770. Even cannibalism was reported, that is, people started eating people. Right? Now, the whole point is that if famine is there, so nothing will be grown. Right? When nothing is grown, then tax will also be zero. That means tax income of East India Company will also be zero. That means East India Company used to use Indian taxpayer money to buy Indian goods, export them out of India, earn their second income called trade income. That will also be zero. After 1757, they stopped bringing gold from Britain to buy the Indian goods. They are using Indian money to buy Indian goods. अब लैंड रेवेन्यू अगर जीरो हो गया तो ये सामान कहां से खरीदेंगे भारत का? पैसा ही नहीं है, खाली हाथ आया था. Right? Put the gun on the head of Kisan that give me high amount of LR. Right? The Kisan is like कुछ नहीं. So from where you will buy the Indian goods? You are staying empty pocket only. So that's why if zero LR income is there, trade income will also be zero. And therefore company went bankrupt in 1772. So that is the impact. The British state gave loan, but then also brought Regulating Act 1773 to have some kind of supervision or oversight over the company. Then 1772 to 93, there was this farming system. It was nothing but Ijardari system. Right? So why Ijardari system? Because rule India the India way. So ideology is there. Simple, right to collect land revenue was auctioned to the highest bidder, who will go to the people, extract land revenue under supervision of district collector. Over extraction will take place. Why? Because you are ijadars, right? Let's say you are revenue farmers. I am East India Company. I am getting the auction conducted. Bidding is taking place. When you are bidding, that I'll pay 80 rupees, I'll pay 60 rupees as land revenue, and you are saying I'll pay 70 rupees as land revenue, and then when you are saying I'll pay 80 rupees as land revenue, and then I am saying 80 rupees 1, 80 rupees 2, 80 rupees 3, done. You pay 80 rupees right now to me, and then you go and collect 85 rupees from the people. Right? As a result, over extraction of land revenue will happen or not? As a result, common man will be crying or not? Economic security of the common man will go to the dustbin. Right? So therefore, Result is very high exploitation, right? And EIC trade revenue continue to be bad. Why? Because कुछ है नहीं लोगों के पास. Books they say that many of the times nothing would be collected. एक थोड़ा सा कंफ्यूज करते हैं यहाँ पे. वो कहते हैं कि देखो चाणक्य ने क्या कहा था, द टैक्स कलेक्शन शुड बी सच लाइक अ हनी बी so that the flower also survives and the honey bee also survives. If there will be over extraction of land revenue, then the flower will die. Right? Practical terms में क्या है? If very high amount of land revenue extraction is there, so Kisan will not be left with any money to even purchase seeds for the next season, to hire some helping hands to work on the field the next season, है ना? To get some people to dig a well. किसी भी चीज के लिए पैसा नहीं रहेगा, तो अगले सीजन में फिर उपजाऊ भी नहीं खुश होगा. और इफ नथिंग इज बीइंग प्रोड्यूस्ड, मतलब बहुत प्रोडक्शन कम है, तो टैक्स भी तो कम ही होगा. भाई 10% ऑफ 10 रुपीज इज 1 रुपी, 10% ऑफ 100 रुपीज इज 10 रुपीज, एंड 10% ऑफ 1000 रुपीज इज 100 रुपीज. प्रोडक्शन जितनी ज्यादा होगी उतना ही तो टैक्स ज्यादा होगा, ठीक है ना? तो दैट्स द होल थॉट प्रोसेस. इफ ओवर एक्सट्रैक्शन ऑफ लैंड रेवेन्यू इज देयर, then ultimately there will be problem, right? So trade revenue will also not improve. Why? Because money for trade is coming from LR. Then Cornwallis was sent in 1793 and his primary goal was to basically improve the land revenue system. So in the permanent settlement, what is happening is, in any taxation system, be it present day income tax, GST, or be land revenue, these are the basic questions, basic issues which are there. And another one issue is there that if you remember these things, trust me, be it any kind of tax, be it your economics subject also, you will have great amount of ease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 sentences only. Always remember, it is always the legal owner of property who pays tax, and tax is always paid to state. State is an organization that rules a territory and people, right? These are extremely important lines. Tenant is not owner of property, and therefore whatever money that he is paying, legally it is called rent. You as a tenant don't pay tax, you pay rent. And rent is always paid to property owner. This property owner can be state also, or this property owner can be private sector also. Example, you can take a land of government on rent or on lease, right? So therefore, tenant pays rent to property owner. Property owner can be state, property owner can be private. Third question which comes is that who collects the taxes on behalf of the state? That is either the government employees, example today IRS officers, or private sector. Example, in the Mughal times, zamindars used to collect land revenue. Are zamindars employees of the Mughal state? Answer is no. They are not employees. They are private sector people. Ijardars are private sector people. Revenue farmers or farming system are private sector people, right? They are not what you call as, they are not the state employees, right? So, that is tomorrow, imagine the government of India says that we are going to do a tender and the company which wins the tender will be having responsibility of collecting GST. हो सकता है, ठीक ठीक. Who deposits tax to the state? This is different and this is different. हो सकता है पैसा आपका हो पर आप मुझे दे रहे हैं और मैं सरकार को दे रहा हूं. Indirect taxes are like this only. You pay GST. Who pays? You pay GST. Why do you pay GST? T is tax, goods and service tax, because you purchased a pen, so therefore money will come out of property owner pocket. So you pay GST to who? To shopkeeper. Shopkeeper deposits it to the IRS. Right? So actual payer of money can be different and the depositor can be different. This is called settlement. So therefore in your ACADS, when it is mentioned settlement was done with zamindar, settlement was done with रियायत, what does it mean? It basically means that from the perspective of state, किसका जिम्मेदारी है? आज टैक्स आना था, नहीं आया तो मैं किसको कॉल करूं? किसान को करूं या किसी और को करूं? किसको करूं? जिसको कॉल करना है उसके साथ सेटलमेंट हुआ, ठीक. हाउ मच टैक्स, इसको बोला जाता है असेसमेंट, राइट. सो इसमें 2-3 क्वेश्चंस और आते हैं. दैट वेदर इन द केस ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर, वेदर फील्ड सर्वे इज डन और नॉट. शुड आई कलेक्ट सेम टैक्स फ्रॉम एवरीवन or should I apply some mind, send my officers on the ground who will try to see that okay तुम्हारा जमीन में कोई पानी आता है नहीं आता है, whether you have irrigation or not, how much productivity is there. You grow wheat, you grow rice, maybe rice sells at very good rupees but wheat does not sell, so should I take same tax from you or something different, right? What is the frequency of droughts in your village or in your district, right? So on that basis, that is called survey, field survey. It is a very complex exercise. So therefore, whether field survey is done or randomly it is said, you pay this much, you pay this much, right? That is one question. For example, in the permanent settlement, no field survey was done. Randomly, the zamindars were told that you will pay 10/11 of the whatever tax, old tax, ठीक है ना? Whatever you were collecting from the रियायत in the last season, उसका 10/11 is you have to pay to me as tax, right? ऐसा, and that amount will be fixed forever. Second is percentage or amount. Example, in the permanent settlement, in the Riyatwari, proper field survey was tried to be done. In Mehalwari, you do field survey, but in permanent settlement, you are not doing any field survey. And in the case of revenue farming system, it is actually auction which is deciding the amount. तूने बोली लगाई थी ना 80 रुपए, 80 rupees. तूने कहा था 60, तूने कहा था 70, इसने कहा 80. So what is determining the amount of tax which will be collected from the रियायत? तुम्हारा बोली, right? So therefore their auction decides how much. So assessment, books they do not mention, but how is assessment done in farming system? Through auction. Auction is deciding कि किसान से कितना लिया जाएगा, ठीक. Percentage or amount, गवर्नमेंट का मर्जी है. Can tell you that tax is 10%, but can also tell you tax is 10 rupees. In the permanent settlement, the state used to tell amount, right? So this is 1793. You are zamindar. I'll check your pockets. How much amount of money you have collected from the riyats in the last season? You said, Saab, production was 100 kg. मैंने कहा अच्छा, I collected 66%. That is 66 kg. मैं कहा okay. Then tax is 10 divided by 11 into 66. माने 60 kg is the tax. तो जो तेरी पॉकेट में 66 kg है, उसका 60 kg you give it to me. But this formula I will apply only in 1793. And whatever is the result of formula, that amount will not change forever. So as Zamidar, he says, "Acha sir, if next year production is 200 kg, then how much amount of tax I would have to pay?" I'll say 60 kg. Hello? 60 kg? Must hai? Right? Then I tell you, a second, if next year drought is there and production is 0 kg, then also you have to pay 60 kg. ठीक है, तो ये दो धारी तलवार है, ऐसे भी चलेगी वैसे भी चलेगी, ठीक है. So their amount, it's not percentage. Percentage 10 by 11 is applied only to derive amount. That amount is fixed forever. अब जमींदार फेल हो जाए तो उसकी जमीन ऑक्शन कर दी जाएगी. If जमींदार fails to pay, then sunset clause will apply and therefore lands will be auctioned. Right? Auction to any person who agrees to pay 66 kg, मतलब agrees to pay 60 kg. आपने बोला मैं दे दूंगा, मैंने चल ठीक है जमीन तुम्हारी, मुझे तो 60 kg से मतलब है, मेरा अमाउंट फाइनल हो गया है, इसीलिए उसे कहा जाता है परमानेंट असेसमेंट या परमानेंट सेटलमेंट. राइट? ऐसा रिवाइजेबल और नॉट. एग्जांपल परमानेंट सेटलमेंट. अच्छा, रियोतवारी में इट यूज्ड टू बी इन परसेंटेज टर्म्स. Revisable, Ryotwari, Mehlwari land revenue is revisable, but in the case of permanent settlement, it is not revisable. There is a permanent loss to the state. ठीक है ना? Tax assessment, land assessment कुछ नहीं होता, tax assessment होता है. नहीं, Ryotwari में भी था. Field surveys were there in the Ryotwari. Ryotwari was introduced for the first time, in 1801. Then it was introduced in 1820, right? And Mehlwari was introduced in 1822. So field survey component was there. Mackenzie's recommendation, Wingate and Goldsmith, Bombay survey system, right? So Bombay में भी Ryotwari था.
Prepare for CSAT Prelims 2025 with confidence. Vision IAS brings you a comprehensive CSAT classroom program 2025 designed to enhance your problem-solving abilities, analytical thinking, and time management skills. Master critical areas such as reading comprehension, logical reasoning, decision-making, and basic numeracy with our expert faculty from Delhi. Access the advantage of regular practice through mini-tests, tutorials, and the All India CSAT test series to sharpen your skills. Starting 20th November at 1 p.m., choose between offline or live online classes, giving you the flexibility to learn on your terms. Don't miss out on this opportunity to elevate your CSAT preparation.
Khair, our focus is here what? Our focus is economic impact of the British rule. So fine. So in the case of, is it not an economic impact that now Ryot is not considered owner of land, but Zamindar is considered owner of land? So in the permanent settlement, who was made the landowner? Zamindar was made the landowner. Fine, its reasons are secondary to our topic, but they are mentioned. The Britishers, they wanted loyalty of Zamindar. And second, Cornwallis was from England and he was authoritarian, so he believed in big landlord, okay, who will do big investments in the property, right? So, and therefore food security will be achieved. So, settlement किसके साथ हुआ? That is किसका responsibility था? To deposit the tax in the government bank account. Settlement was done with Zamindar. Why? Ease of LR collection. Super big landlords are there. Limited number of landlords will be there. Right, so settlement is done with, why Zamindar is made landlord and why settlement with him? This is the land of Bengal. Let's say only these many landowners are there and settlement is also done with them. So I have to call how many people? Only 5 people I have to call. Right, so therefore ease of land revenue collection is there. I don't have to go to every cultivator. गाँव गाँव नहीं जाना पड़ेगा मेरे को. I'll talk to जमींदार कि हाँ भाई ऐसा, ठीक. That is also done in GST. You have to call only shopkeepers. You don't have to call each student who purchased this pen. है ना? तो मैं तो कहता हूँ जीएसटी में बंधुआ मजदूरी कराई जाती है. GST is forced labor. One of the primary job of the state, that is tax collection, it is being done free of cost by shopkeepers and companies. They collect taxes from you and they deposit to the state. तो जो state का काम है वो तो private sector कर रहा ना, free of cost. खैर, assessment, I already told you assessment, 10/11 of pre-existing revenue of zamindar. That is of what riots paid before 1793 to him. I've given you verbal example. 100 kg is produced. 66 kg was what riots paid before 1793 to the zamindar. उसका 10/11, that is 60 kg. ठीक है ना? So this I have already told. Land revenue arrived at was assessed permanently as an absolute amount to incentivize zamindar. When you asked me if next year 200 kg is the produced, then how much tax, and I told you 60 kg, you became very happy. That is your incentive. That is, if you are able to somehow increase the production, then every profit will be yours only. Government will not take even a single rupee extra from you, right? So therefore that is a very big incentive to you. Government will get certainty of LR. So therefore when I told you that even if drought is there, then also you have to pay 60 kg, that means now government can be nishchint, that is tension free, that irrespective of what happens, every year zamindar will pay me 60 kg. So therefore certainty, a regular flow of income will be there. Reduce corruption, because corruption takes place when some tax person can tell you that tax is not 60 rupees, tax is 50 rupees. Right? When you can play with assessment, it is there that corruption happens. Right? So therefore that's how corruption takes place. So now since the tax amount is fixed, then no one can change it. No one can therefore take any bribe to reduce it. Okay. Burden of administration will also come down. That is, those officers who were earlier engaged in assessing that how much tax, unka bhi kaam khatam, they can be deployed for better law and order and other purposes. Why land revenue was fixed very high? How much money did zamindar have in his pocket? 66 kg. Out of that, how much is taken? 60 kg. Huge amount is taken. Why? Because to compensate the government for loss of its right to increase land revenue, compensate the government for inflation. जो 100 रुपए की वैल्यू हमारे दादाजी के टाइम पे थी, वो 100 रुपए की वैल्यू आज नहीं है ना. क्यों नहीं है? इन्फ्लेशन की वजह से. सो जो 60 रुपए है, ठीक है, उसकी वैल्यू उस टाइम पे बहुत ज़्यादा होगी, बट हर साल बिकॉज ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन इटसेल्फ द गवर्नमेंट इज सफरिंग अ लॉस. सो गवर्नमेंट ये कह रहा है कि चलो ठीक है, मैं लैंड रेवेन्यू बहुत हाई रखूंगा ताकि कम से कम 10 साल के लिए तो मेरे को लगे कि यार मेरा नुकसान नहीं हो रहा, आई डिड नॉट डू अ बैड डील. ठीक है ना? तो इसलिए कम से कम कुछ टाइम तो मेरे को ठीक लगे कि यार ठीक है, ओवर एवरेज की कम से कम 20 साल तक मुझे ऐसे लगे कि मैंने कोई गलती नहीं करी ऐसा करके, तो ठीक है, लैंड रेवेन्यू बहुत हाई फिक्स करते हैं. ठीक है, तो दैट वाज द आइडिया. सनसेट क्लॉज, if zamindar is not able to pay this land revenue, then his lands will be auctioned to anyone who agrees to pay the land revenue. Right? What was the impact, economic impact हम देखें तो in the agrarian economy there was very high frequency of auctions because land revenue was very very high. So many of the zamindars, they could not pay the land revenue. Right? The hope of the Britishers was that since zamindar is very rich already, so therefore he will go into his previous earnings, right, and from there he will be paying this high amount of land revenue. This was the hope. Right? Varna Britishers, they also know that 60 kg out of 66 is very high amount. Right? Somehow the zamindars, they did not have trust on the Britishers or whatever may be the reason. They said, no, this business different, my past savings different. Right? So therefore the zamindar did not take out his wealth from the past in a big manner, and therefore he said कि नहीं भाई, जो यहीं पे है जितना मैं यहाँ से कमाऊंगा उसी में से टैक्स दूंगा मैं. ऐसे ब्रॉडली लैक ऑफ ट्रस्ट. अंग्रेजों को क्या पता कल को कुछ और कहने, राइट, दैट आई एम नॉट अ लैंड ओनर, कुछ भी चेंज करने, हाउ डू वी नो, राइट. सो मे बी वॉट एवर बी द रीजन, बट जमींदार डिड नॉट बेसिकली ब्रेक हिज past fixed deposits to pay this very high amount of tax, and as a result lot of auctions took place. But later on, the system stabilized. Why? Because every year the value of 60 rupees is coming down because of inflation itself. So therefore, after some years, it will automatically become affordable. Right? 60 rupees will become affordable. Second, why Zamindar was made landowner? Because there was this hope that good investments will be done in the land by the Zamindar. But Zamindar did not invest. Right? He said, land revenue is 60 kg. How much amount of money is left? Only 6 rupees. अब इससे मैं नहीं इसमें कुछ इन्वेस्ट करा. I am not investing anything. ठीक है. So books they simply say that because land revenue was very very high, so nothing was left for investment. So therefore production it stagnated. So food production did not improve. What happened to the Ryot? Now he is landless and rightless. Right? He has no rights. Since Zamindar is made the owner of the land and you are all tenants, so therefore my wish, how much amount of rent I extract from you. Earlier there used to be something called patta system during the Mughal times. But now so I can extract any amount of rent from you. Right? So therefore, and I can tell you at any point of time, get out. That means you are a tenant at will. You are cultivating this land till the point of time I want. Otherwise I can ask you to get out. Right? So very high rents and oppression. Therefore many peasant revolts took place after 1793. Right? Then in 1859 they brought out a rent act whereby they said that any Ryot who has cultivated a plot continuously for 12 years, that person cannot be randomly asked to leave the land. जमींदार को अगर प्रॉब्लम है उससे तो जमींदार जाए और FIR करे. Police will investigate the matter, and then if the police finds that zamindar is right and tenant is wrong, then fine, as per the court orders, etc., things they can take place. But this act was not properly implemented, and there was a loophole. This occupancy right, that is right to cultivate a particular field year after year after year, was available to only that person who has cultivated a plot continuously for 12 years. So what zamindars they started doing, they said, you have cultivated this plot for 5 years, you get up, and now you cultivate Bajuwala plot. And Bajuwala cultivator, you cultivate this plot. As a result, legally, you have not cultivated any plot continuously for 12 years, and therefore the occupancy rights of Rent Act 1859, they do not apply to you, right? Revolts and all of these things, they continued, right? Ultimately, finally, after hundreds of years, right, roughly, Bengal Tenancy Act 1885 is brought, whereby all the problems are solved. But we noticed that because of permanent settlement, the rural economy was devastated. And even after independence, what is the system? Even after independence, Bengal, Bihar, Odisha, they came out as Bimaru states. They were tagged as low income states. Right? Why? Because their agrarian economy was devastated during the time period of Britishers. Ryotwari was there in Sindh, Scam B, Sindh, Coorg, Assam, Madras, Bombay. First it was applied in Madras, then it was applied in Bombay, and then in other parts. Right? First question, who is the landowner? Here Ryot was made landowner. Why? Because Mr. Thomas Munro, he came from Scotland. And in Scotland, it was not big landlord, it was small landowner who was the hero of the society. So he said कि भाई हमारे यहाँ तो ऐसा ही होता है. तो कॉर्नवालिस ने कहा हमारे यहाँ तो ऐसा ही होता है, उसने बिग लैंडलॉर्ड बना दिया. इन्होंने कहा हमारे स्कॉटलैंड में तो आम आदमी जो होता है वो लैंड ओनर होता है, तो इन्होंने ये बना दिया. Second, he was also Orientalist. That is, his ideology was let's rule India the India way. And in the ancient Indian times, there was no big landlord. Right? Common man who used to be the cultivator also had occupancy rights over land. तो कोई ऐसा बड़ा landlord ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता था ancient times में. So therefore, that is why. Third reason was for, ठीक है, खैर ये सब चीजें. Third reason was poor government finances. देखो, if there will be any person who is a zamindar over the ryots, तो देखो जमींदार भी अपना कुछ तो प्रॉफिट, ऑल ऑफ यू अंडरस्टैंड सम हिंदी राइट, यू आल्सो, देखो जमींदार अपना कुछ प्रॉफिट तो रखेगा ना, है ना. अगर इस जमींदार को मैं हटा दूं तो ये जितना भी प्रॉफिट रख रहा था वो सरकार के पास टैक्स की फॉर्म में चला जा सकता है ना. तो देर इज इकोनॉमिक बेनिफिट कि मैं किसान को आई मेक रियॉत दी ओनर ऑफ लैंड एंड आई रिमूव द जमींदार, राइट. सो गवर्नमेंट का टैक्स कलेक्शन बढ़ेगा, ठीक है ना. एंड गवर्नमेंट फाइनेंसेस उतने अच्छे थे नहीं. क्यों नहीं अच्छे थे? 3 Carnatic Wars 1746-63, 4 Anglo-Mysore Wars 1766-1799, ठीक है ना. तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ मद्रास, मतलब द ब्रिटिशर्स, ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी इन मद्रास हैड डन ह्यूज अमाउंट ऑफ वॉर एक्सपेंडिचर. तो तंगी थी, राइट. सो दैट वाज आल्सो अनदर रीजन. एंड थर्ड पॉइंट ये है, if masses they will get legal property rights, then masses they may start saying I love you British, and therefore if masses love and affection will be there with me, so my political stability will be relatively better, right? As they are thinking. Settlement means who has the responsibility to deposit to the government. Assessment, यहाँ पे a लैंड रेवेन्यू कुड बी इन परसेंटेज, अमाउंट में होने का ज़रूरत नहीं है. लैंड रेवेन्यू कैन बी चेंज्ड, परमानेंट नहीं है. डिटरमाइन करने के लिए वी विल डू फील्ड सर्वे, ठीक है. तो ऐसा इम्पैक्ट, फील्ड सर्वे करना बहुत मुश्किल काम है, इट्स अ वेरी टफ जॉब, ठीक. तो मेनी ऑफ द टाइम्स देयर वर फॉल्टी फील्ड सर्वे विच रिजल्टेड इन ओवर असेसमेंट ऑफ लैंड रेवेन्यू. मतलब जो जायज़ दाम है आपसे वो लेना चाहिए, लेट से 50 रुपए, बट सरकार करिए हमको तो 70, राइट. सो देयरफॉर ओवर एक्सट्रैक्शन होगा तो क्या होगा? ऑप्शन नंबर 1, योर लैंड्स विल बी ऑक्शन्ड बाय द स्टेट, यू विल बिकम लैंडलेस. तो क्या हुआ? बाय वन हैंड द गवर्नमेंट गेव यू समथिंग एंड फ्रॉम द अदर हैंड गवर्नमेंट टुक दैट थिंग. एक हाथ से आपको प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स दिए एंड फिर आपकी जमीन भी ऑक्शन कर दी. क्यों? बिकॉज फील्ड सर्वे फॉल्टी था, जिसकी वजह से लैंड रेवेन्यू बहुत ज्यादा था. दूसरा ऑप्शन क्या है? यू गो टू मनी लेंडर, राइट. मनी लेंडर्स, देयर बिजनेस वाज नॉट रेगुलेटेड बाय द स्टेट, सो दे विल चार्ज वेरी हाई इंटरेस्ट रेट एंड दे विल गिव यू लोन ओनली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ सम कोलैटरल. एंड व्हाट यूज्ड टू बी द कोलैटरल? योर लैंड, राइट. ईएमआई बहुत ज्यादा बन जाएगी, ठीक है ना. तो आपको टैक्स भी देना है और इस मनी लेंडर की ईएमआई भी देनी है. लोन के लिए था मनी लेंडर से ताकि टैक्स दे पाओ, ठीक. ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम क्या होगा? दैट यू विल डिफॉल्ट ऑन द ईएमआई. व्हेन यू विल डिफॉल्ट ऑन द ईएमआई, द मनी लेंडर विल गो टू द पुलिस, ही विल गो टू द स्टेट, ही विल से सर दीज आर द पेपर्स, दिस इज अ डेट बॉन्ड, दिस रियॉत had taken loan from me, collateral was his land, now he has defaulted, I want justice, give physical control and legal ownership of that land to me. पुलिस विल चेक, वेरीफाई, सब कुछ ठीक है भाई, तो आपकी जमीन दोबारा छिन गई. तो या तो सरकार आपकी जमीन खा गई या साहूकार आपकी जमीन खा गया. दोनों केस में हुआ यही कि एक हाथ से कोई चीज दी और दूसरे हाथ से बोली गई, right? So property rights are very important part of economy. That's why I'm spending time here, that who became, ultimately what happened to property ownership, right? When lands were being auctioned, so therefore when tax used to be collected, tax was collected by mirasidars. Mirasidars, they are like tehsildar samajh lo, ठीक है ना, lower bureaucracy, right? They were very oppressive and they were so oppressive they had police powers also, that their torture was actually revealed in something called Madras Torture Commission Report. And finally in 1855 corrective measures were taken and finally some relief came. और relief के बाद भी क्या था? For the next 30 years land revenue was fixed at 50%, जो कि एक गरीब व्यक्ति के लिए बहुत ज़्यादा होता है. आज के टाइम पे जब हम आज़ाद हैं, those who earn 0 to 5 lakh rupees they have to pay 0%, ठीक है ना. और जो आम किसान, गरीब किसान है, मुझे नहीं लगता कि वो आज वाले 5 लाख रुपए भी कमाता होगा साल में उस समय पे, ठीक है. खैर, तो लैंड रेवेन्यू वाज ऑलवेज वेरी वेरी ऑप्रेसिव. जो इसको ये फेयर बोल रहे हैं, दैट इज ऑल्सो काइंड ऑफ लाइक बर्डन. मतलब ये है कि हाँ ठीक है, आपका घर चलता रहेगा बस, होप नहीं आएगी आपको लाइफ में कि मैं कभी किसान हूं तो मैं कभी कुछ बड़ा व्यक्ति बन सकता हूँ, ऐसा नहीं आएगा। ठीक, तो दैट वाज देयर। बॉम्बे में एल्फिनस्टोन ने लगाया था, और ठीक है, यहाँ पे जो सर्वे जिन लोगों ने डिज़ाइन किया था उनका नाम था वेनगेट एंड गोल्डस्मिथ, तो ये सब सेम है, कुछ नहीं है, इसमें भी यही सेम चीज़ है भाई। महलवारी में बड़ा बस एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है, छोटी सी इंटरेस्टिंग चीज़ है महलवारी में, एंड दैट इज़ कि when Mehlwari was applied in Madhya Pradesh, that is central provinces, Uttar Pradesh, that is United Provinces, and Punjab, ठीक है ना, C, U, P, कप, ठीक है ना। तो Mehlwari was a hybrid, right? In two methods it was hybrid: settlement, इसको मैं बोलता हूँ S, and land ownership, land owner. In Mehlwari, what used to be done was that in majority of the cases, landowner was Riyat. And where landowner was Riyat, they had the responsibility to deposit the tax to the government. It was with who? With someone called village headman. It was with village headman. That is, your settlement was done with village headman, ठीक ना। दिस वॉज डन टू रिस्पेक्ट दी ऑटोनॉमी ऑफ द विलेज, कि भाई सरकार जो है हमारे किसान से बात नहीं करेगी, मुखिया से बात करेगी, ठीक है ना। इन दिस केस लैंड ओनरशिप, दैट इज फॉर सम लैंड्स, लैंड ओनरशिप वॉज गिवन टू जमींदार, एंड हेयर सेटलमेंट वॉज डन विद zamindar. So therefore, if this is like Punjab, in some of the cases you will find zamindar is landowner and he has the responsibility to deposit the tax. But in most of the cases you will find that Riyat is a landowner and village headman, Nambardar, these kind of people are responsible for depositing the tax, right? बाकी रिवाइजेबल है, फील्ड सर्वे है, यहाँ पे भी वही रहेगा कि इसमें योर पंजाब को बेनिफिट हुआ बिकॉज ऑफ कैनाल्स, बट अदरवाइज लार्जली दिस थिंग इट इज मतलब सेम, बाकी सब चीज़ें सेम है, दैट इज फील्ड सर्वे है, वो सब है, ठीक है ना। तो ऐसा मेरी तालुकात लॉस्ट मिल्कियट्स, राइट। इनफैक्ट ले देखिए, सीधी सी बात यह है कि जैसे यूपी में ये इम्प्लीमेंट हुआ तो सेम इंडेटेडनेस टू मनी लेंडर्स and loss of land in the auctions. So therefore, this contributed to 1857 revolt, right? So therefore, these are the economic impacts of the British land revenue systems, right? So how the issues of land revenue settlement policies led to famine, so land deafness, productivity. British did not build canals in permanent settlement areas. This is new. पहले वाला आप देख चुके हो. This is new. Why they did not build canals in permanent settlement areas? Because here the government acted in a selfish manner. They said, why we should ask the British canal builders to go to Bengal, Odisha, Bihar, North Madras, Banaras and build canals there? हमको क्या फायदा? 60 kg is 60 kg. Land revenue is permanently assessed, right? So therefore state acted selfishly कि अगर मेरा टैक्स कलेक्शन नहीं बढ़ रहा है तो मैं क्यों पेन लूं कि कैनाल प्रोजेक्ट स्टार्ट कर दिया मैंने परमानेंट सेटलमेंट एरियाज में, राइट। सो ब्रिटिश डिड नॉट बिल्ड कैनाल्स इन परमानेंट सेटलमेंट एरियाज, ये हम डिस्कस कर चुके हैं ऑलरेडी। ये 7th पॉइंट थोड़ा सा नया है, इसमें क्या है कि आफ्टर 1850 वंस इंडस्ट्रियल रेवोल्यूशन ऑफ ब्रिटिश इज डन, द ब्रिटिशर्स दे वांट नॉट फिनिश गुड्स फ्रॉम इंडिया, they want raw material from India, and raw material goes to who? To factory. There is a link between agriculture sector and industrial sector, and you know what that link is? एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर और इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर दो तरीकों से आपस में जुड़ते हैं। कौन से वाला रॉ मटेरियल? बिल्कुल ठीक बोला आपने, कौन सा वाला रॉ मटेरियल? हाँ, कैश क्रॉप्स। तो कुछ ऐसे क्रॉप्स हैं which act as a raw material for factory. Cash crops, cotton, raw cotton, jute, sugar, ठीक है। तो ये सब चीज़ें, ठीक है, टी, कॉफ़ी, ठीक है ना, ये सब कैश क्रॉप्स, ठीक है ऐसा। दूसरा जुड़ते हैं मशीन, इंडस्ट्री कैन प्रोवाइड मशीन, ट्रैक्टर टू द फील्ड, फील्ड कैन प्रोवाइड कैश क्रॉप टू दी। तो ये दो तरीके से मतलब यूजली मिलते हैं वो, ठीक है। तो इनको अंग्रेजों को चाहिए थे कैश क्रॉप्स, एज अ रिजल्ट दे प्रमोटेड। भाई गवर्नमेंट के पास बड़ी पावर होती है, वो सब्सिडी दे सकती है, बहुत सारी चीजें कर सकती है, मतलब सरकार मतलब किस चीज को इंसेंटिवाइज करती है, तो द गवर्नमेंट प्रमोटेड प्रोडक्शन ऑफ कैश क्रॉप्स। एज अ रिजल्ट क्या हुआ, दिस कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटेड फेमीन्स, बिकॉज अगर कैश क्रॉप्स आपको कैश को खा थोड़ी सकते हैं, मतलब कुछ को खा सकते हैं, जैसे चीनी हो गई, ठीक है ना, शुगर हो गया, टी हो गया, कॉफी हो गया, बट फूड सिक्योरिटी गॉट नेग्लेक्टेड एंड दैट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूटेड टू मल्टीपल फेमीन्स, ठीक है ना। देन दिस एग्जांपल आई हैव ऑलरेडी गिवन यू, man-made famine of 1943, export of food grains to Europe. So ये सब 8 कारण हैं, these are the 8 reasons because of which a lot of famines took place, and this is also an economic impact which is there. Then examine critically the various facets of economic policies of the British in India from mid 18th century till independence. तो देखते हैं, प्लास्टिक प्लंडर हम ऑलरेडी डिस्कस कर चुके हैं, ठीक। उसके बाद फ्रॉम इनफ्लो ऑफ गोल्ड, नाउ देयर वाज आउटफ्लो ऑफ गोल्ड एंड वेल्थ फ्रॉम इंडिया। मैंने आपको बताया ना, बिफोर 1757 अंग्रेजों को सोना लेके आना पड़ता था, जब हमें सोना देते थे तब हम अपना सामान देते थे, अब तो वो चाहिए नहीं, ठीक। इनफैक्ट अब तो ये इंडिया का सोना चाइना लेके जाने लगे और चाइना से सामान खरीद के बेच दिया कहीं और वो पैसा भारत कभी आया ही नहीं, मतलब इस टाइप की सिचुएशन, दैट इज आउटफ्लो ऑफ गोल्ड फ्रॉम इंडिया एंड आउटफ्लो ऑफ गुड्स फ्रॉम इंडिया फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट। Over extraction of land revenue, this we have already discussed. Canal not constructed in permanent settlement area, this we have already discussed. Policy of aloof elite from 1786. So British officers don't settle in India. ये बड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट है, शायद से आपने अपने स्टैंडर्ड उसमें शायद पढ़ाओ शायद नहीं पढ़ाओ, है ना। Cornwallis was the person who led the British Army in the American War of Independence, 1776-83, ठीक है। एंड देन ही वॉज सेंट बाय द ब्रिटिश स्टेट एज एन एम्प्लॉई, पहले उसकी सरकारी नौकरी थी, फिर उसने कंपनी ज्वाइन करी, ठीक है, और वो बन के आया यहाँ पे गवर्नर जनरल, ठीक है। तो ही बेसिकली डिड नॉट वांट रिपीट ऑफ अमेरिकन वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस इन इंडिया। व्हाट हैपेंड इन द अमेरिकन वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस, कुछ लोग जो पहले अंग्रेज थे, व्हेन दे माइग्रेटेड टू नॉर्थ अमेरिका, वन डे दे स्टार्टेड सेइंग दैट आवर होम इज नॉट ब्रिटेन, आवर होम इज अमेरिका एंड वी आर डिक्लेयरिंग इंडिपेंडेंस फ्रॉम ब्रिटेन। ऐसे ही कल को कहीं कंपनी ना कह दे यही बात, तो भारत को कंपनी के अफसरों का घर नहीं बनने देना। घर और मकान में फर्क होता है दोस्त। घर वहां होता है जहां दो चीजें होती हैं, घर वाले और प्रॉपर्टी। अगर आज के समय पे इफ योर फैमिली इज लिविंग एट अ पर्टिकुलर, लेट्स से ओरिजिनली यू बिलोंग टू अ पर्टिकुलर विलेज, बट योर होल फैमिली sold off your family property, migrated to a particular place, purchased a home there, purchased some piece of land there. So now if I'll ask you that घर कहाँ है, तो तुम अपने उस गांव का नाम नहीं लोगे जहां पे प्रॉपर्टी बेच दी और जहां घर वाले भी नहीं रहते, तुम उस जगह का नाम लोगे जहां घर वाले हैं, और घर वाले वहां होते हैं जहां घर वाली होती है। Therefore, Cornwallis dissuaded, brought punitive measures for such officials who will do marriage in India, है ना। तो लव कर लो, लव मैरिज नहीं करने देंगे, ठीक है। दिस काइंड ऑफ सिचुएशन इट इज है। क्यों? क्योंकि शादी होगी तो फिर बच्चे होंगे, बच्चे होंगे तो यहीं पे होंगे, ठीक है ना, ऐसा। इनफैक्ट सच काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स वर देयर दैट दोज पीपल, दोज ब्रिटिश ऑफिसर्स हु हैव Indian wives, their child will not be given job by company. If you have an Indian wife, you will not be allowed to purchase property in India. You live in separate colonies away from the Indians. Indians may come to do household work. ऐसा अलूफ elite, ऐसा पॉलिसी लिखा है ताकि रिपीट ऑफ अमेरिकन रेवोल्यूशन लाइक सिचुएशन ना हो इंडिया में, ठीक है। ऐसा ना हो कंपनी कल को आज़ादी घोषित कर रहा है। अब इससे दिक्कत ये हुई, कब इनका घर कहाँ हुआ, घरवाली कहाँ हुई, लंदन। बच्चे कहाँ हैं, लंदन। तो आप अपनी सैलरी जमा करके कहाँ भेजोगे, प्रॉपर्टी कहाँ खरीदोगे। इसकी वजह से हुआ ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ। ठीक है ना। तो जो भी सैलरी मिलती थी वो सब ये लोग लंदन ट्रांसफर करते थे, जो पेंशन है वो सब लंदन जाएगी, तो उससे हुआ ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ। तो ये एक इससे एक चीज बनती है। देन लार्ज मिलिट्री एक्सपेंडिचर, ठीक है ना, रैंडमली फाइटिंग वॉर्स। देन अंडर चार्टर एक्ट ऑफ 1793 द सैलरी ऑफ बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल वॉज टू बी पेड बाय कंपनी। कंपनी कहाँ से पे करेगी? हमारे टैक्स के पैसे से पे करेगी। बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल वॉज इन, बोर्ड ऑफ कंट्रोल इज लाइक मिनिस्ट्री वेयर इट इज इन लंदन, उसका काम है इंडिया को देखना, ठीक है। तो उसका सैलरी इन्होंने बोला 1793 में दैट दैट सैलरी हैज टू बी पेड बाय द कंपनी। फ्रॉम वेयर द कंपनी विल पे द सैलरी? फ्रॉम द इंडियन टैक्स पेयर मनी। दैट इज ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ। ड्रेन थ्योरी तो हमको सबको बताइए, ठीक है, मतलब वो बहुत रगड़ी जाती है, ठीक है ना। मैं एक पैराग्राफ में आपको बता देता हूँ क्या क्या चीजें हैं। टाइम भी हो गया है, ओवर शूट कर चुके टाइम हम ऑलरेडी। तो एक ये फिगर है, हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू हैव ऑलरेडी अटेंडेड माय क्लासेस? वैसे जस्ट एज अ से 1 मॉडर्न की, 2 मॉडर्न की, 3 तुमने मॉडर्न की नहीं अटेंड की? तुमने किसी मेंस की थी? तो क्या शायद से ये फिर वहां पे ही बताया होगा, ठीक है ना, क्योंकि ये मुझे बहुत सही लगता है बताना। बताना मतलब इससे बहुत सिंपल रहता है। तो ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ ये है कि जहाँ पे हमारे रॉ मटेरियल्स हैं और जहाँ पे हमारे फिनिश गुड्स हैं, और ये हमारी इंडियन फैक्ट्रीज हैं, ये हमारी इंडियन फैक्ट्रीज हैं। उन्होंने ये तो बनाया नहीं, ये भी नहीं बनाया। उन्होंने क्या बनाया? ये रोड बनाया उन्होंने, रेल रोड इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर वॉज बिल्ट लाइक दिस। और उन्होंने पोर्ट बनाया, इसको ये लोग बोलते हैं रेल टू पोर्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, ठीक है ना, ताकि रॉ मटेरियल निकल सके, ठीक है। ये फिनिश गुड्स नहीं है यहाँ पे, सॉरी, यहाँ पे आएगा जहाँ पे आप लोग रहते हो, सिटीज, ये सिटीज हैं, अर्बन कंज्यूमर्स, इसको मार्केट बोलते हैं। मार्केट, मार्केट वहां पे होता है। मार्केट क्या होता है? जहाँ पे सेलर और बायर मिलते हैं, दैट इज मार्केट, ठीक है ना। तो अमीर लोग जहाँ रहते हैं, ठीक, वहीं पे मार्केट्स होती हैं एक्चुअली, ठीक है ना, एंड पीपल कम टू सेल देयर प्रोडक्ट्स, ठीक। सो फिनिश गुड्स फ्रॉम ब्रिटेन आर गोइंग टू कम हियर। यहाँ पे देयर विल बी अ शिप हु विल बी ट्रैवलिंग, इट विल बी टेकिंग रॉ मटेरियल एंड अ शिप विल ऑल्सो बी ब्रिंगिंग फिनिश गुड्स। ये क्या है? वहां का पोर्ट है। जो रॉ मटेरियल्स हैं दे विल बी ट्रैवलिंग टू ब्रिटिश फैक्ट्री, एंड फैक्ट्री से जो सामान बना फिनिश गुड, it will be traveling to the port. A ship fitted with steam engine will travel very fast now because the industrial revolution has taken place, and it will bring finished goods. Railroad infrastructure is made in such a manner that very fast connectivity with urban areas. Basically, this leads to boosting of British exports into India and extraction of raw materials from India. Right? So therefore, that is what is being done. ठीक है, तो this explains. प्लस उन्होंने सुएज कैनाल बना दिया। सुएज कैनाल वॉज बिल्ट इन 1869, इट वॉज बिल्ट इन 10 years, विच रिड्यूस द डिस्टेंस बिटवीन अरेबियन सी एंड ब्रिटेन by 4500 miles. So therefore this distance got reduced, and therefore this extraction of raw material and dumping of finished goods, it became very very high, so that more and more people of India, they purchase the British finished goods. Therefore they ensured, because government of India is also under them, they ensured that the import duty which can be applied is zero. As a result, the Indian factory owners, they don't have much connectivity with Indian sources of raw materials and Indian markets, and they face very high competition because 0% import duty. Right, nowadays, for example, we put a lot of import duty on foreign goods to incentivize this thing, right? So therefore that is what is happening. So this is misuse of sovereign power. What is the link between drain of wealth and sovereignty? What is the link between drain of wealth and demand for स्वराज? अगर हमारी सरकार होती तो हम इसको 0% नहीं रखते। क्यों नहीं रख पा रहे हम इसको 20%, 30%, 40%? क्यों नहीं हम प्रोटेक्शन प्रोवाइड कर पा रहे हैं टू अवर इंडियन मैन्युफैक्चरर्स? बिकॉज हमें पास हमारी सरकार नहीं है, मतलब हमारे पास स्वराज नहीं है। तो क्योंकि स्वराज नहीं है तो ड्रेन हो रहा है। क्या ड्रेन हो रहा है? वेल्थ। वेल्थ क्या है? रॉ मटेरियल। और दूसरा क्या ड्रेन हो रहा है? फॉरेक्स। तो बहुत सारे लोगों को ये नहीं पता होता कि थोड़ा सा एलेबोरेट किया जाए। मैं पूछूं आपसे कि भाई ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ में क्या ड्रेन हो रहा है, बताओ। व्हाट इज वेल्थ? नहीं, वो तो मैंने बताया अभी। यूजली मतलब इलेबोरेट करना। चलो ठीक है, रॉ मटेरियल में दूसरा बताओ। हाँ, तो बेसिकली व्हाट इज वेल्थ? वेल्थ इज नॉट मनी। वेल्थ एक तो हुआ, इसी सिस्टम में देखें तो जैसे ही हम इनका सामान खरीदेंगे तो फॉरेक्स इंडिया से बाहर जाएगा। फॉरेक्स उस समय में गोल्ड है। क्यों? क्योंकि इंडिया ने ब्रिटेन से कुछ सामान खरीदा है तो इंडिया फॉरेक्स देगा, है ना। बायर जो होता है वो तो पैसा देता है। और दूसरा क्या बाहर जा रहा है? रॉ मटेरियल, ठीक है ना। तीसरी चीज क्या जा रही है बाहर? गांजा। चौथी चीज क्या जा रही है? चाय, है ना, टी, कॉफी, है ना। इतना शानदार ओपियम होता था बंगाल का दैट चाइनीज पीपल दे गॉट टोटली एडिक्टेड टू बंगाली ओपियम। You may have heard about opium wars. That is Bengal opium. And now they started, instead of paying gold to the Chinese people, they used to pay in opium. Right? That is barter trade. He'll give you this much amount of opium and you give us Chinese goods. And then so much amount of Bengal opium was sold to Chinese people that now actually there was outflow of gold from China. मतलब कि this much amount of opium sold to China, but only this much amount of goods purchased from China. So there was outflow of gold from China. The whole Chinese people, they started getting destroyed. अब भाई चाहे गांजा हो, है तो हमारा। ये जो ओपियम का पैसा है, ये कभी भारत को मिला? है ना। तो आपके घर से कोई सामान ले जाओ, उसके पैसे भी ना दे, दैट इज ऑल्सो ड्रीम, ठीक है ना। तो ये सब, ये वेल्थ एक्चुअली, है ना। और ये ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ हो रहा है ड्यूरिंग प्लासी प्लंडर ऑल्सो, ठीक है ना, ड्यूरिंग फॉरेक्स है एंड इंडियन टैक्स पेयर मनी। मतलब जैसे हम कहते हैं कि भाई इंडियन गोल्ड कह दो, मतलब गोल्ड मतलब क्या? इंडियन, हाँ, इंडियन टैक्सेस। भारत के लोगों ने टैक्स दिया, ठीक है ना, और वो टैक्स से तुम इंडिया का पैसा, इंडिया के गुड्स खरीद रहे हो, या फिर मतलब ठीक है, वो हम शुरुआत से डिस्कस कर ही रहे हैं, ठीक है। तो ये सब फॉर्म ऑफ ड्रेन ऑफ वेल्थ है। एज ए रिजल्ट बड़ी वियर्ड सी सिचुएशन थी, दुनिया में बड़ी अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें हुई, बट हमारे लिए वो शराब बन गई। सुएज कैनाल बन रहा है, बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है। स्टीम इंजन बन रहा है, बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है। रेलवेज है, बहुत अच्छी चीज़ है। पोर्ट्स हैं, बहुत अच्छी चीज़ें हैं, पर हमारे लिए वो शराब बन गया है। हाँ, बट दुनिया में बड़ी अच्छी चीज़ होनी है, तो एज अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ हिस्ट्री हमें खुश होना चाहिए, ठीक है ना, कि चलो ये टेक्नोलॉजी है और हमारे पास कुछ पैसे भी होंगे ही कि हम चलो इनमें से कुछ टेक्नोलॉजी अपने लिए भी खरीद लेते। बट चूंकि हमारे पास स्वराज नहीं था, क्योंकि हम एक कॉलोनी थे, तो ये दुनिया की बड़ी अच्छी अच्छी चीज़ें हमारे लिए एक श्राप बन गई। दे बिकेम अ दीज बून्स बिकेम बेन्स फॉर अस। वाई? बिकॉज ऑफ लैक ऑफ स्वराज, लैक ऑफ सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट। सो ड्रेन थ्योरी फाइन, मतलब ये सब चीज़ें ड्रेन थ्योरी अच्छे से किया ही जाता है।
Get ready to conquer UPSC Prelims 2025 with a stronghold over current affairs. Enroll for the PT 365 program, a 20-day course offering comprehensive coverage of 1-year current affairs in 60 hours. This meticulously designed curriculum features daily sessions on important subjects relevant to the prelims examination. Starting offline from 9th January at 5 p.m., the highlights include complete coverage of current affairs from sources such as The Hindu, Indian Express, PIB, Economic Times, Yojana among others. Flexibility of class timing with access to live online classes for distance learning students. Access to Sandhan, a personalized prelims test series. Personalized assessment and feedback. Doubt clearing sessions and mentoring. Get on board to succeed in prelims with excellence in current affairs.
टाइम भी हो गया है, तो कॉम्पोनेंट्स ऑफ ड्रेन ये सब आप प्रीलिम्स में पढ़ते ही हो, होम चार्जेस एंड ऑल, ठीक है ना। तो खैर एक ये लास्ट क्वेश्चन है जो कि बस मैं 5 मिनट लूंगा, उसके बाद क्लास खत्म हो जाएगी। ये बड़ा अच्छा सा क्वेश्चन है, इंटरेस्टिंग सा भी है कि भाई डिड ब्रिटिश मॉडर्नाइज इंडिया, है ना। ये देखो यस यस कह रही है, इनका नाम है ब्राउन साहिबा, ठीक है। ब्राउन फ्रॉम आउटसाइड बट ब्रिटिश फ्रॉम इनसाइड, ठीक है। हम प्रूव करेंगे कि क्या था। ग्राउंड इज एनी मॉडर्नाइजेशन वॉज अनइंटेंडेड बाय प्रोडक्ट। इंटेंट इज इंपॉर्टेंट। एंड सेकेंड पॉइंट इज कि भाई जैसे मैदा होता है, मैदा बाय प्रोडक्ट होता है ना। तो समझ लो वो बाय प्रोडक्ट है, वो आपका कोड इंटेंट नहीं। अब जैसे मैंने तुम्हें आज बहुत बेकार पढ़ाया, ठीक है ना, और इसके पास तुम्हें इसलिए बोला हूँ कि तुमने ऐसा कहा भी, तो इसके पास एक गाड़ी है, ठीक है ना, और तुम इसके साथ गैंग मेंबर मिल गए, एंड देयरफॉर यू डिसाइडेड दैट यू हैव टू पनिश मी, right? And you identify that okay, what we are going to do is we are going to tie him, this teacher, with our car, okay, with a rope, right? And strictly, right, and mazak nahi ho raha hai, strictly we are not going to stop the car is going to travel at 20 kilometers per hour, right? And if he wants to survive, if he does not want to get run over by the car, then he has to keep on running. And as a punishment because of he teaching us in a very bad manner, this is going to be done for every 2 hours, well, for every day 2 hours this is to be done, right? Your intent is to punish me. Now after 20 days if I become slim trim perfect, है ना, तो it's like now me saying as a brown sahib that thank you so much, right? It's a unintended and it is a byproduct. Your core product was to punish me, your core intent was to punish me, right? So ऐसा, ठीक है। तो दिस काइंड ऑफ सिनेरियो, उसके ऊपर फिर क्वालिटी ऑफ फिटनेस भी अच्छी नहीं थी। क्यों? सड़क पे भगा रहे थे मुझे, धुआं अंदर जाता, मेरे लंग्स खराब हो गई आदि, क्वालिटी वाज नॉट गुड, है ना। और दूसरा फिर क्या हुआ कि फैट लॉस की जगह मसल लॉस हो गया, ठीक है ना। तो वेट लॉस तो हुआ बट मसल लॉस हुआ, फैट लॉस अभी भी कहीं कहीं रहता है ना। तो एक्सरसाइज भी टाइप, मतलब क्वालिटी, है ना, ये ऐसा सा हुआ, ठीक है ना। ये कुछ ऐसा सा हुआ कि जैसे ये गई रेस्टोरेंट, है ना, 5 स्टार रेस्टोरेंट, इसका बर्थडे था, हम सब ने सोचा कि लेट्स गिव अ ट्रीट टू हर, वी टुक हर टू अ रेस्टोरेंट, ठीक है ना, बिल तो यही देगी, बर्थडे इसका है ना, वी टुक टू 5 स्टार, देयर वी ऑर्डर्ड बिरयानी, 5,000 रुपीज बिरयानी, ठीक। सो बिरयानी पर्सन केम, ठीक है, ओपन एंड वी लाइक वेरी हंग्री, बर्थडे वाले दिन तो हम सवेरे से कुछ नहीं खाते जानबूझ के, ठीक है, ठीक है, कि आज तो फ्री की पार्टी। बिरयानी वाज सर्व्ड एंड देन वी लाइक ओनली 5 spoons of biryani were there, that is quantity was very bad, price paid was very high। चलो कोई नहीं, बर्थडे क्या करें, ठीक है ना, अभी 5 स्टार पहली बार जा रहे हैं तो हमें लगा अमीर लोग ऐसे ही करते होंगे, कम खाते हैं तभी फिट रहते हैं, ठीक है। तो क्या, then we tasted and then after tasting we're like मतलब the price that we paid for that development, railways, parliament building, ports, some canals, okay, the price was very very high, the quantity of GDP growth was very very less, and the quality of GDP growth was bad. That means not all sectors developed properly, right? Not all regions developed equitably, not all sections, rich, poor, middle class, benefited equally. So quality was bad, quantity was bad, and the drain, that is the price for this so-called development which was extracted from us, was very very high. Had we been independent and had we given that much amount of money to any other country, right, so therefore we would have been able to do much better, right? I need to end the class, so only one example I will give you. For example, the example which we have already discussed, right, for example railways, right, तो जो नहीं डिस्कस किया वो डिस्कस करते हैं, ठीक है। रेल, इन द केस ऑफ द रेलवेज, राइट, what is the biggest cost for any person who does investment, who does FDI? Land. Land procurement is the toughest thing to do, okay. Land was procured by the government of India, and it was given free of cost for 99 years lease. And then investment में risk है. If the railway does not work, then government of India will purchase this railway line at a predetermined price of 105 rupees. माने कि 100 rupees you had invested, the government will purchase this railway line, railway station from you at 105 rupees. मतलब कि no loss scenario. Minimum you will earn 105, maximum is infinity. As a result, what happened? तभी तो कहते हैं रेलवे सरकारी हो गई. They started building railways randomly from here to there without application of mind. That is खाली जा रही है पर कोई नहीं, क्या दिक्कत है? That's why government is purchasing, so many railways, and that's how gradually the railways kind of like became like owned by government, even pre 1947. Okay, and from where the government is getting 105 rupees? From our taxpayer money. And that is being taken by who? By this British businessman back home. ठीक है ना? So therefore, see, this is drain of wealth, right? And what is the map of the railways? We have already seen. Similarly, in the case of irrigation, did they very lopsided? For example, the poor sections of the society, they did not benefit because wherever canal was providing water, there the water rate was very, very high, right? Then in the permanent settlement areas, जो लोग बिहार के हैं, उनको ज्यादा गुस्सा होना चाहिए. कहां से हो आप? From which state you are? West Bengal. Perfect case of Brown Sahiba. Permanent settlement areas, canals were not built. तो अगर वहां कभी भी एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर पुअर रहा है 1947 के बाद, बंगाल, उड़ीसा, बिहार, है ना, सम पार्ट्स ऑफ मद्रास, नॉर्थ मद्रास, हाँ, बनारस, तुमको अपने पूर्वजों के लिए स्पेशल गुस्सा होना चाहिए अंग्रेजों से. सरकार कह रही है कि मेरा टैक्स कलेक्शन नहीं बढ़ेगा तो मैं यहां कैनाल क्यों बनाऊं. ठीक है, तो जो टैग ऑफ बीमारू स्टेट्स और बाकी ये सब चीजें आई, दे आर बिकॉज ऑफ दिस थिंग. ठीक है ना, तो ये सब चीजें उसमें है. हैंड आउट आपको मिल जाएगा. थैंक यू, गॉड ब्लेस यू, टेक केयर, बाय बाय.